Hey, me and Matt here. So, Survivor Series, I'm doing the entire Survivor Series. Basically, because I wanted to. I wanted to see if I could do it, which obviously I can. So, right now, I'm going to do Survivor Series 1992. Now, Survivor Series 1992 is the time when I started watching the wrestling, WWF specifically. To me, it was breathtaking. It was very cool. I was a huge fan of Randy Savage when I had started watching wrestling, and the cover actually was misleading. I'll get to that eventually, but let's go. So we started off, I guess there was a dark match. It's Crush defeating Brooklyn Brawler. I don't say I was a kid, I don't remember ever seeing that. And then we had the first match of the pay per view, which was the Head Shrinkers, Samoan Fatu, with Alpha versus High Energy, Coco Beware, and Owen Hart. And I was watching this episode of the JBL, the Legends with JBL, and he said that. Well, at first I thought he said that it was the first time that there was the interracial tag team with him and Ron Simmons, aka Farouk, but he said he was one of the first interracial tag teams. So I think, and I'm probably right on this, but the first interracial tag team in the WWF was Coco Beware and Owen Hart. Owen Hart being, of course, the younger brother of Bret Hart, and being the Blue Blazer at one point or another. And of course, the Head Shrinkers, Samu and Fatu, Rikishi. It was an interesting tag team. I remember when obviously they debuted. Alpha scaring the ever loving shit out of me. The 8-year-old that I was. And, it was a good match. I expected the High Energy to win. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And Head Shrinkers got the win. But it was a good match. Head Shrinkers, the Samoans are always, like the Japanese, the Samoans are always good wrestlers. And obviously, at that time, I thought they were like that, savages. But as racial profiling and obviously getting to grow up with the wrestling business, watching it and going, well, that's obviously not true, because then Rikishi came out later on in life. I'm not quite sure what happened with Samu, but there it is. Then you had the Big Boss Man versus Nails. Boss Man, I really enjoyed this feud. I don't know why. Seeing the orange and the blue going at it. It was, from my perspective, cool. I don't know about now, but seeing Nails, the guy that was in prison, and then seeing the Big Boss Man, who was the enforcer, whatever, police officer. This was an interesting match. They've had an interesting feud, and the Big Boss Man defeated Nails. So that's that. Then you had Tatanka versus Rick the Model Martel. I have a feeling they wrestled before. Yeah, they did. They wrestled before. This was the same event that had Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart in a ladder match, I believe, for the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyways, Tatanka won. Tatanka was always a good wrestler, and he has been in and out of the WWE a few times. He did come back in 2003, but then he became an Indian chief, or a Native American chief. I always say Native American because Indians are from India. That really was just another blue for me to say. But anyways, so that was a good match, you know. It was a good feud. Then you had the tag team match, Ric Flair and Razor Ramon versus what was supposed to be, and it was on the card. It actually was on the front page, or the front cover of Survivor Series 92. And it was supposed to be Macho Man Randy Savage versus, Macho Man Randy Savage and Ultimate Warrior versus Ramon and Flair. Obviously, you saw SummerSlam 92, where you had the WWF Championship between Savage and Warrior. Then you had Randy Savage lose to Ric Flair via help from Ramon. And then we were supposed to have this match happen. Then Elway got fired, Warrior got fired, and then we enlisted the help of and had the face turn of Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. So this match was Mr. Perfect and Macho Man Randy Savage versus Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and Ric Flair. And this was, you know, I was still a big fan of Macho Man Randy Savage. I think I was starting to get into Bret Hart at this time. And yeah, good match, especially at the end where, you know, you have Macho Man Randy Savage put up his hands and wanting to slap the hands of Mr. Perfect, and he looks at the crowd. Eventually, Mr. Perfect does it, and, you know, they're a good tag team. But they won the match, and that's what happens. It's a shame, though, that it happened, you know, and they're no longer with us. And, you know, but yeah, this was the face turn of Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, and obviously he was the manager of Ric Flair. But, you know, it is what it is. It was a good match. I'm not sure what happened there. Then you had Yokozuna versus Virgil, defeating Virgil. You had the scene where Yokozuna was getting a massage from the Geisha girls, and then you had this match happen. Virgil, I can't remember the guy's name, but he eventually went to WCW and became a part of the NWO. Being a fan favorite, he also lost the match. It was a squash match. Obviously, I don't know anybody that size that could face Yokozuna. And yeah, Yoko was a force to be reckoned with. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us as of, 16 years ago. Then you had the six-man tag team of Nasty Boys and Natural Disasters. Eight-man tag team. Natural Disasters, Nasty Boys versus Money Inc. Money Incorporated, I should say, whatever. Ted DiBiase and Arnar Shyster, and the Beverly Brothers, and the Nasty Boys, and Natural Disasters won. I was a huge fan of the Natural Disasters at that time. Not because of my weight. Being 8 years old and seeing these two massive guys who were really cool and very interesting to watch. And then Money Incorporated, who were the tag team champions, and then having the Nasty Boys, who were who turned face at that time, and then of course the Beverly Brothers. Um, yeah. And then you had the rematch from SummerSlam, Kamala versus The Undertaker in a coffin match, or casket match, if you will. First time I saw highlights of their match at SummerSlam, you saw Kamala get up on the turnbuckle and headbutting Undertaker a few times until finally he was going to go back up on the turnbuckle, and Undertaker shot back up and then went after Kamala. And so this match, Undertaker won, obviously. Kamala was a very cool wrestler, and his theme is still intimidating a little bit. It's kind of creepy, but it was a good match, and yeah, Kamala and Undertaker. That was a good feud that they had there. Especially if you saw the custom-made coffin, the promo that Paul Bearer and The Undertaker cut. Then we had the main event, of course. I'm not sure if this was title versus title. This was not like the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6 back at Skydome in Toronto. This was different. The first, the one of many encounters of Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart. Shawn Michaels being the Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hart being the WWF Champion, and they faced each other twice before, once in the ladder match, and then later on the same year, and both for the Intercontinental Championship match. And then Bret Hart eventually became the WWF Champion, defeating Ric Flair. But again, this match was probably one of, well, okay, I won't say one of the best. It was a good match, I think, their other match at Survivor Series, I will get to that eventually. Yeah. I don't know, it doesn't really compare that much, but for the time it happened, I think that there's a lot of things that, it is what it is. But it was a good match. At the end, you had Santa Claus come out, which was kind of confusing, but not really, because it was a Thanksgiving. It was around Thanksgiving in America, so over there they have their Thanksgiving in November, and then Christmas is right around the corner. Whereas, obviously, as here we have Thanksgiving in October. So, yeah, Santa Claus came out, and then there was a promo afterwards with Santa Claus and Bret Hart, which was interesting. But yeah, that was the first pay-per-view I saw on video. It was pretty cool, to go back and see that and just to live it again. There it is, Survivor Series 1992. I'm going to do a Backlash review. It was on last night. I obviously went on YouTube and I'm subscribed to a lot of people that do spoilers, so I unfortunately saw some of the spoilers, but I will get to it. I will watch it. I taped it, so I'll watch it, and I'll do the review later. But there you go. Bye.